That's right, that's my Starlink over in the garden, would you believe? We've had to go to Starlink because the broadband service has been so abysmal where we live, and we've got a very poor um, broadband network coming through in terms of the lines that come to the house, the copper wire lines. They are the problem, and they slow down. So it doesn't matter which provider you go with, you're not going to get super fast, proper full broadband, full fibre broadband all the way to the house. Without that, you might as well not bother. So we've gone to Starlink, and we're now getting it from space instead. Anyway, welcome back to Peter Goes Rogue. Thought you'd like to see that. That's don't worry, that very crude setup you just saw is just in the garden. Until next week when we get it all set up properly on the roof, it's all going to be mounted with a proper mount and all the usual professional stuff. Anyway, I thought I'd just give you a quick update here on Peter Goes Rogue. We haven't had much recently, but don't worry. Over the Christmas period, that's going to change. I'm going to be doing some cooking and all sorts. But check this out. Here's something. Oh, it's gone away for the winter. Look. Oh, yes. I'm afraid the car has gone away for the winter. Something slightly amusing I thought I'd show you, though, is this. This is the genuine Porsche car cover. Sorry, I've got all cloths on it and things that shouldn't really be there, but it's got my hat on it as well, winter hat. But look in here, you can see that we've got the Porsche logo. If you look very carefully, the crest, it's not actually straight. It's really odd. It's at a slightly strange angle. Can you see that? Yes, it's out by about 4 or 5 degrees. It's slightly anti-clockwise, and it shouldn't be. So that's not cool, is it? What's all that about? Anyway, so you won't be seeing the car anymore, basically, over the winter, is what I'm saying. I did make a slight mistake with this actually, because I didn't sawn it, you know, for road tax reasons, which I should have done. I was so nervous about the budget with Rachel Reeves, falling into politics, but Rachel Reeves was threatening to do all sorts of crazy stuff. And both my car insurance and tax are due at the end of November. And I decided to just take the plunge and just get it for 12 months. And it's £395, which is not that bad actually for this car. That's reasonable, I think, for the car it is, what it can do. Which tells you it's actually relatively efficient in terms of CO2. It's quite an efficient engine. It's very high compression ratio on this. I think is it 11.9 or 12 to 1? It's quite high. I can't remember the exact figure. But it is a high compression ratio engine. And because of that, it's burning a lot of the fuel. There's not a lot of unburnt fuel, apart from when you put the sports exhaust on. And then it burns in the pipe, obviously, so it's not truly unburnt. It gets burned on the way to the back box, into the back box, which is what it does, and makes all that crackle and bang and all that stuff that you like. Anyway, so to finish the story, I decided to I was frightened that they were going to ramp it up suddenly, so I decided to just pay the insurance and the tax as if it was on the road and just carry on as normal, rather than take it off the road. But one of my friends said, "Oh, you should have sawned it until March or whatever." But I think I can still do that and get a credit, so I may do that anyway. Because I'm not going to drive it till about March now. I don't think so. So there we go. So there it is. You see it there. It's completely covered. It's got this lovely cover on it. It's lovely and dry and warm in here, so it's in a good place. It's not, it's not at risk, and it's in a good environment for the winter. I do have some issues with my garage door at the moment. I've got a slight technical glitch. I'm going to have to get sorted, so that's something I'm going to be getting fixed over the winter, hopefully. And that's it for the motoring front. I was going to do more motoring videos, nothing to do with Porsches, but just generally. Let's put you there. Is that a good place for you? Can you sit there? Yes, you can. Yeah, I was going to do... you can see my camera now. You can see the setup, can't you? I was going to do a motoring video about other cars and motoring generally, which I probably will still do, but maybe after Christmas. It's not really the right weather for it. One of the things I'm going to talk about, of course, is going to be potholes, which everybody has a real problem with. I'll put you over here. How's that? That's better. Yeah, potholes, which is a nightmare, Where I live in the country, they are really bad, to be quite honest with you. There we go. Yeah, they're really bad, the potholes out here. It's not good at all. So something we can discuss, I think, in depth. And everybody will be able to identify with that, for sure. So I actually did a bit of a crusade, a campaign about 10 years ago. 2015? Yeah. 2015 or 2016. A big campaign on potholes where I'll read you out. I've got some clippings from the local website. I'll read you out some of the things that were discussed publicly about it, and I ended up getting it in the papers, and the local authority didn't respond to me despite multiple, reports. And I got really fed up in the end because they're getting really dangerous, especially for cyclists, by the way, and motorcyclists. And we've had a couple of motorcycle fatalities near here, so it's not good. And I lost my temper in the end, and I said, right, that's it. I had a bit of a rant about it. And I went off to the newspaper and had a good old newspaper rant, a double-page spread as well with lots of photos. And I was being ignored by the local leader of the council, who's actually our local ward councillor as well. But getting it in the newspaper changed all that, I can tell you. Within about 10 days, we had a representative from the highways department came down and discussed it, and they got all these potholes fixed. Not that well, but they were fixed. And I think we're getting towards something similar here now. We've just had, at the budget, we've just had the Chancellor telling us that one of the reasons they wanted to start taxing EVs, when they told us they didn't tax EVs because they were non-polluting, now they've moved the goalpost again and said, oh no, but EVs, they're very heavy and they affect the roads, and that's why we've got potholes. Yes, that's true, but you can't keep changing your mind, and it's just that con, isn't it? They encourage people to go into EVs, which I've been warning against for a long time, and then it's just slipped. And then now they've completely changed the parameters, and now they're not worried about pollution. Now they're worried about the potholes. And the Chancellor actually said this on national TV, and then when she was challenged about it, they said, "Yeah, but surely that's something that you don't pay for the potholes. That's done by the local authority. That's the local authority. It doesn't come from the road tax. So why are you going to give them more road tax?" And then she changed the subject again, and then she was challenged about the pay per mile, which was amusing. This is on the BBC, wasn't it? Charlie State, I think it was, interviewed her, and she was asked about the pay per mile and how it was going to work. How are you going to know what mileage people have done? And she said, "Oh well, the annual MOT test has to record the mileage." And he said, "Yeah, but you don't do that for 3 years." And they wanted to do this from the outset with vehicles, and she couldn't answer the question. And again, I'm trying not to get into politics here, but this shows how you can't trust the regimes, whoever they are, on motoring, and it almost sounded like she made a comment at the end. Well, we're looking at that. In other words, we're going to start charging. They may start having the MOT test every year. Well, that's not necessary at all. A car being 3 years old or younger. I'm saying this. I've just said that, haven't I, on TV? And I've just realised as I was saying the words that there was recently a video on YouTube with the BYD car, which had, was it BYD and JQ, is it? That had rust underneath. Brand new car, and just come in, and they were looking underneath it in a bay, examining it, and it was rusting. Lots of rust all over the place underneath this car. So they look very glossy on the outside, these Chinese vehicles, but not good underneath. Not good at all. But anyway, it almost sounds like they're going to give you an annual MOT even when the car is new. Well, it doesn't need that. Unless it's rusting, I suppose. And these are the very cars that we're encouraged to buy, to the detriment of British industry, German industry, French industry, Italian industry, etc. Not good. Not good. They've encouraged people to go down this route and this is why people like Volkswagen and Porsche are in such trouble. Most car manufacturers, Mercedes, are in trouble as well. Nissan are virtually going bankrupt. Been encouraged to buy this horrible, nasty electric rubbish which doesn't work well, isn't properly made, is just a mobile iPad, something that's completely soulless, total automation that you won't believe, telling you how to think and trying to drive itself almost. What a load of rubbish. Anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a rant here, aren't I? Anyway, we'll be talking more about these issues in more depth. That's why I'm giving you this update, really. So, there we go. So that's a quick update for Peter Goes Rogue. We're also going to be doing some amusing stuff. We're going to be introducing Pee-wee the cat. Who's a little cherub. I'm sure you'll find her quite amusing, especially if you are a cat lover. We're going to be doing some cookery. That's something that I've been wanting to do for a little while. So quite a variety of things coming up in the next few months. So from Peter Goes Rogue, I'm wishing you all a Merry Christmas. I'm filming this early mid-December. But I wish you a Merry Christmas. You will probably see me around Christmas time with my cookery, though, having a few glasses of wine, doing a bit of cookery in the style of Keith Floyd. Yeah. And maybe even a bit of cigar smoking. Oh, not recommended. Well, I've not had a cigar for many months, so due for one for Christmas. And also, I know there's going to be a live event that I'm hosting over on my modelling channel with Jason from Model Kit Stuff. I think that's on the Saturday between Christmas and New Year, where we're going to be having a live show, and he's the guest. And no doubt we'll be talking about we had the big anniversary this year for all three of them, actually. The Jerry Anderson ones, the most famous Jerry Anderson series on TV, Thunderbirds, UFO, the best one, and Space 1999. Anyway, I'm sure we'll get into that and get discussing those things, because that's a bit off beam and not strictly modelling related, but who cares? I think everybody enjoyed us debating that, and I think that we've got more to say on the subject. I'm sure we have. I was a bit annoyed. When I went to Telford for the model show, I was intending to buy some memorabilia and stuff, and they didn't have anything to do with UFO, so I was very cross. Excuse me. Jason said, as I bumped into him there, of course, spent some time with him, and he said, they don't bring that crap out, Pete. And I was like, no, they've sold out of it, actually, Jason. That's the problem. You believe who you want. Anyway, we'll talk more about that, I'm sure. Something exciting to look forward to at Christmas. You've got that show, and of course you've got Kits of the Year as well. Kits of the Year, I think it will be on Tuesday, the 29th of December. Sorry, it's a Monday, isn't it? I beg your pardon. Monday the 29th of December. So the Monday after that weekend, basically. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, because as I sit here, I'm going off the subject here, talking about the modelling channel, but as I sit here, I don't know who's going to win, because there's about 3 or 4 kits still to come I haven't seen yet. So I've kind of got an order in my mind that could be completely scrambled by the time we get to Christmas. So no idea who's going to win that. No idea who's going to win it. But it's going to be interesting, because there's 3 or 4 good kits to come through still. I can name 1, 2, 3. Is it 5? We've got the Tomcat. We've got the Tacom Henschel. That's 2. We've got the Hamden. 3. We've got the... There's another one. Oh, yeah, the Armour Hurricane. 4 or 5. Hurricane, Tomcat, HS129, and the Hamden. 4. And the 4 to come. 4? I'm sure I'm missing one. There's another one, I'm sure. Plenty to still consider there. Plenty to go into the melting pot there. So it's going to be very interesting. I quite like it when it's like this, rather than me thinking, well, I know what's going to win. Get to the year, I know what the order is in my head. I don't. No idea. Anyway, that's over on the modelling channel. But here on Peter Goes Rogue, doing rogue stuff. So we'll be doing some wild stuff like, let's say, a bit of cooking, some fun with the cat at Christmas. I might be filming the cat when we put the Christmas tree up, because that could be quite entertaining. Seeing her diving in the box. Not quite as bad as our previous cat, who used to climb up the tree. As soon as the tree was even half up, she'd be climbing up it on the inside, and she'd stay there. She wouldn't come out. Little swine. And then she'd suddenly dash up there without warning, and the tree would be shaking, and you'd be thinking it's going to come down at any second. So all very scary stuff, Anyway, all to come. So, yes, as I say, wishing you a Merry Christmas. I probably will see you over Christmas on this channel, and both channels, in fact, we should be operating over Christmas a couple of times. And in the meantime, thank you very much for joining me and having seen a bit of an update. So the Porsche's gone away it's gone hibernated for Christmas. It's got its life support connected to it. everything was checked and it's all gone away, and that'll be back in the springtime, I guess. So you won't see any more of that. So we'll focus on other things. Until next time, thank you very much for joining me, and very nice to have you along. Thanks for all your trouble and your time watching the videos, and I hope if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It's very important on this channel especially. And I think it'd be nice to say Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you have a great December and a nice peaceful rest at Christmas and New Year. And don't forget to tune in to any of the shows that I'm doing then. And until next time, thanks very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.